Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. I am your host, Raheem the Dream, and we have a special guest with us today.
Definitely do.
Shaun Keys is in the house.
Appreciate it, guys. It took me long enough, man.
Yes, sir. With our co-host,
J Mac Main.
J Mac Mizzle. What's poppin', Jay?
None. How was your Christmas?
Mine's pretty good. How was yours?
Yeah.
Because I work,
Yeah, I'm about to say, mine
Okay,
was the same.
Don't
Kids
sound
were
like
good,
you was visited by Santa this Christmas, did you? Did Santa pay you a little visit?
nah, Santa had
Got
COVID.
some goodies off for you?
He had COVID, so he kind of didn't stop by me.
Santa can't get COVID. He's magical. He's magical. He can't get COVID. But maybe he did get COVID. COVID,
He might have got COVID.
COVID taking everybody out.
Or-
So let's get into some news and rumors. So this one is heartbreaker, tearjerker right here. Brody Lee passes away from lung issues. It's been reported. I got hit with two messages last night. I couldn't believe the news. Very surprised to hear that we lost Brody Lee. You know, a promising athlete. It's very sad to hear about that. I was very surprised.
yeah.
Yeah, it kind of threw me for a loop there.
Yeah, very surprised. Very sad to hear about Brody Lee. Condolences to his family. Man, this is wild. 2020 is not even over yet, man. We got like what, 4 more days, and it's like 2020 is still hitting us with more surprises, huh?
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's
Man.
crazy how many lives he's touched because, everybody's tweeting, like from the Usos, Zelina Vega, obviously Triple H, Stephanie, Bray, he put a heartfelt tweet, you guys can check that out. Jericho said some, Cody, everybody say he was a family man, funny guy. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I've seen a lot that he was the total opposite of the characters that you saw on WWE
Right.
and AEW. He was the total opposite of all of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is pretty normal all the time. They're never their characters, but
Right.
it's just crazy because, like I said, I had put on the wrestling page 3 days ago. It just hit me. I was like, dang, Brody hasn't. I think I was watching AEW Dark, or I might have been watching AEW, and I remember I was seeing a lot of Dark Order, but then I thought about it. I was like, dang, I ain't seen Brody in maybe a month or two, maybe a little longer. And 3 days later, he passes away. So
Yeah, I seen that post and I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yeah, where's Brody Lee? I seen that post that you put up. And I was like, yeah, and I thought about it. I was like, yeah, where's Brody Lee at? Like, where's he been? It's wow. So he was probably in, I guess we know, like, he was in the hospital, like, fighting that issue. That's crazy, man. This is wild. This is wild, man. Sorry, we're definitely sorry to hear about his passing.
yeah.
I think Shaun, we was talking about it earlier. You said you was curious to know what they're going to do with the Dark Order, like how they're going to move forward.
Yeah, because so originally, from what I remember, before they introduced Brody and they started the whole storyline with the He's Coming storyline.
Yeah.
After his release, I believe Evil Uno and Stu Grayson were kind of the leaders in a sense of Dark Order. Because I believe Evil Uno, of course, is number 1, and I think Stu Grayson was number 2.
Mhm.
So either AEW believes in Evil Uno going forward, or they're gonna, of course, bring someone in to be the leader. So I think I guess because I watch the product a lot, I think Evil Uno could carry the torch.
Right.
He's been doing great the last couple of months as far as the leader goes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting on that aspect to see how they do that. It'll probably, of course, I don't think it'll be immediate. I mean, I'm sure they're going to address it on Wednesday,
Yeah.
and then go from there as far as how they're going to handle everything. So
Yeah. We got thank you, Ethan Wick, for joining us. We have a message from Ethan Wick. He says he was still young. Yeah, man, he was still young.
41.
41. And he definitely had some time in his career because we were still seeing what he was doing, seeing how he was evolving as a wrestler, as a character. He definitely, at least he had some memorable moments, matches and stuff. He had some great. He had that great triple threat match with Dolph, and he had a great
the
one-on-one match.
IC title one.
Yeah, the IC title one. He had the match with Tyson Kidd and Dolph. So yeah, man, he has some, and then he has some great moments with the Wyatt family. Jay Montez says they definitely need to bring someone in. Evil Uno is dope, but he doesn't have the heat an outsider would.
I agree. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I like Evil Uno. I think he's been doing great so far. But as maybe if they give him that push as far as like, okay, they sit down in their production meetings like, hey, you're gonna be the man of the Dark Order now. I think he can step up, but I wouldn't be mad if they found someone else to bring in, to be honest. Because I still think for Dark Order, I still feel like they need that name. Like I think that's what helped the Death Triangle so much, having Pac as the leader because he's the name. Then the Lucha Bros, if you know wrestling, they're probably like top 3 tag team right now, if not. I mean, they don't have a title, but I still would say top tag team. To be honest, like they really can go. So that helped them with that trio with Dark Order. I'm interested to see because I think Evil Uno possibly can do it, but I wouldn't be mad if they brought somebody else in as the leader.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they do well with that angle, and just treat it right, handle it right. But I mean, I believe AEW will more than likely. We have another comment before we move on to the next topic. Jay Montez says they'd have to push him in singles for a few good solid months to sell it. Have him beat some big names.
Unlike what WWE did with Mustafa Ali, that's what I'm saying correctly, and Retribution.
I still don't like him as the leader of Retribution, but I mean, and I liked Retribution. Like, I thought I still think it's a great gimmick if they could do it the right way. They just dropped the ball by making Mustafa Ali the leader. They could have let the guys who were there, and I would have rather had no names be the leaders like they were.
Right. Yeah, somebody
having Mustafa come in.
Yeah, somebody you didn't know come in as the leader, and then they lead the faction so they can build their name rather than somebody who was really treated like a jobber to be put in that position and then
to be a jobber.
Right, to be right.
Right.
Aleister Black no longer comes up in WWE creative.
Yeah. So, article I was reading from ringsidenews.com says Aleister Black's name doesn't come up anymore on television. He was sent to Smackdown and soon banished. What's going on with the former NXT champion? Ringside News asked around about Aleister Black's status. Kevin Owens mentioned Black in a recent interview and wondered what happened to him. We are told that Black's name never is mentioned in creative planning. He's also not injured. They just aren't using him. Some fans theorize that WWE is punishing Aleister Black. The idea is that Zelina's release and subsequent talk of unionizing upset WWE enough to wipe her husband from television. We were told that that's not the case. Black's poor booking predates WWE's third-party ban and Zelina Vega's termination. Aleister is another example of someone Paul Heyman loves but Vince doesn't get. When Heyman was removed from the executive director position of Raw, Black's push died. Bruce Pritchard is also more interested in using established names. We're told that Heyman had a vision for making new talent, and Pritchard is not in the business of making new stars. Another example was given is Apollo Crews. He was United States champion. He's received praise for his in-ring work while Paul Heyman was an executive director of Raw. Heyman's firing also saw Crews drop the U.S. title, get drafted to SmackDown, and now he's a ghost.
You know what? That's hella true. That is very true.
We have a comment from Ethan Wick. He says, pretty sure it has nothing to do with his wife. He says that sarcastically.
I didn't think it, well, you know, I didn't think it did either, only because I don't think they were punishing Lana for Rusev.
Right.
But I'm interested to see how long she has left on. Are they actually still married in real life?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would see her when her contract's up. I could see her leaving WWE.
Yeah.
Because I still feel like Adam Cole is gonna leave at some point, but he just signed that new contract. So
why do you think Adam Cole's gonna leave?
I always feel like the husband wife in different companies is always, especially nowadays, is a little different because of the travel schedules. Yeah. And they're not like with different companies, they're on different travel schedules. So right now it works because everybody's in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But then let's say next year, once everything opens back up, it's a little different because you might get Adam on the East Coast for a week or two doing shows. Mm-hmm. Then you got Britt on the West Coast for a couple weeks doing shows. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know how the business goes as far as relationships, but I always would think that just seeing how a lot of the wrestlers who had outside relationships where they had wives who weren't wives or husbands not in the business, they didn't last too long.
Mm.
So, I mean, just my thought. I could be wrong, but you know.
I could definitely. No, go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
But you know, Adam is like one of Triple H golden boys. You know, Triple H and definitely praise Adam. So they're gonna throw the bank at him to make sure he stays. Whatever Adam wants, you know, they're gonna be like, hey, listen, whatever you want, we want to make sure you stay here. So they're gonna throw whatever they can at him. So I mean, I can see the reason why he would leave, but I don't. It's gonna be Triple H and Shaun gonna give every last ditch effort to make sure.
Oh yeah. Because honestly, Britt is going to be better, in my opinion, would be better staying with AEW than her leaving AEW, coming over to NXT or Raw or SmackDown or whatever. And then at the same time, Adam Cole I feel like he's a star no matter where he goes.
Right.
But I feel like he would fit in with AEW's roster perfectly. So
if because I could definitely see Adam Cole going to AEW, and I could see that being possible. I could see him saying, you know what, I'm going to go to AEW, especially knowing that he's red hot right now. Like, you know, if he leaves WWE, if he goes to New Japan Pro, if he goes to AEW, if he goes to TNA, which I doubt he would, but just him leaving would make him a hot free agent, almost in the likes of Kenny Omega. I could definitely
the same way Moxley was.
Yeah, so I definitely believe that, you know, I agree with you, Jay. They're really gonna I agree with both of y'all. Like, I could see him leaving, and I could see also Triple H saying, nah, you ain't going nowhere. We're gonna try to do something with you. You know, throw a better contract at you, throw a championship at you or something. Ethan Wick says, I definitely think it's better to be married to someone in the business. Ethan Wick also says, I think she'd understand her man making a big paycheck. Bringing home the bacon.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So Aleister Black, I mean, you know, like, you know, this is like one of the most frustrating things, or not frustrating, but just annoying things, you know, seeing these characters be built so well, developed so well in NXT, brought up to the main roster, just to see their characters be like butchered, you know, with just jobbing spots and not handled properly. And, you know, the rumor was, or the news was backstage, was that Aleister Black was actually being handled, his character was being nurtured by Paul Heyman. And a lot of these other superstars who we liked, who were getting a push were being nurtured by Paul Heyman, and because Paul Heyman is not in charge of creative anymore, they're not getting the pushes that we would expect. But one thing I've noticed, I just want to mention this one thing, and if you guys got anything else, then we can move on to the next topic, is that I noticed that there's been a lot more female spots on the TV shows, on Raw and on SmackDown. Like they've been having like larger time slots. Like they've been having, just larger time slots, whether it's a tag match, whether it's a one-on-one match, whether it's them ending the show. And I've just been noticing they've been having a lot more time as of recently.
Right.
Where they're extending the matches a little instead of them being shorter for more wrestlers.
Yeah. I've definitely noticed that a lot.
And see, with Aleister Black also, there was a report, I think I reported it a couple of weeks ago, or maybe even longer, that it was reported that he wanted to go back to NXT. And,
Right. Remember that, yeah.
Now, I think him going back to NXT would be great, because imagine him working with Karrion Kross, whether a tag team or just, a few.
That match would be crazy.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? So that would be a moneymaker within itself, or even having them together, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, either way. But it is a great match, like Aleister and Finn Balor. I know Sal would salivate over that kind of match.
Salivate.
But we know who to blame for this though, because it's a reason why Triple H won't allow certain people, as much as Vince may want them, certain people have not been moved up to that main roster. Johnny Gargano,
right?
Adam Cole, the entire UE.
Right.
You got Tommaso Ciampa.
Right.
It's a reason they have not. They probably should have been on the main roster, to be honest. All of them. All of them are main roster attractions that can hold it. I'm hoping that they keep Karrion Kross down. I don't want, as much as he's getting the same push, just like what's his name got. I hope he stays exactly where he is.
Right.
I feel like it needs to get to a point that Vince is like, you know what? I'm a little too old to do this. I'm gonna step back. I don't want it to be anything where something, death or anything happens to him, and then Triple H just naturally takes control because of that.
Right.
I really want him to understand, like, all right, maybe I actually need to listen to everybody and step away, because I've been killing NXT stars.
Right.
Ever since there's been so many. As much as people might not have liked Todd Dillinger too much, Todd Dillinger actually could go.
Yeah.
He's even better now as Shaun Spears in AEW than he was as Todd Dillinger, of course. But at the same time, he got killed once he went to the main roster.
He did.
Finn Balor got hurt, came back, and nothing. He had to go back to NXT to even get his name back.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Ember Moon as well. That's another one we could use.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Ember Moon.
Oh yeah, Ember had the hottest. I think Ember might have been one of the hottest women coming up.
Yeah.
And then she came up. Everybody was hyped, happy, and then it was a dud.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, Asuka was getting killed at first. You build her up to be a monster just to let Charlotte Flair beat her.
By submission in the middle of the
right.
At WrestleMania.
And it's the same thing with Shinsuke. Shinsuke is a world talent that if he was anywhere else would be top talent. And he's in WWE and sometimes he's jobbing.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so
and we know my rant, you know what I'm saying, at the beginning of the shows, like, you know what I'm saying, before they started using Shayna and Bianca, like they disappeared from, television for months. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
And that was mostly because of Charlotte she wasn't injured. She wouldn't have had surgery. Let's just call it what it was.
Right.
But
right.
Charlotte, them not having Charlotte, Becky being pregnant and having to go away for a while, they feel like they don't have the stars that they had before. But little do they know, for the real WWE fans who actually watch all of their product, NXT UK, all of that, you have Shayna Baszler became a bigger star than Ronda Rousey was,
right,
wrestling wise.
Yep.
I still don't think Ronda can wrestle. I don't care what nobody says. She sucks as a wrestler.
Yeah.
She's horrible. Shayna was bad at first, and she became a better. She worked on it and became a better wrestler.
Right.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair is just a freak athlete.
Right.
Yeah. All
So,
right, guys. So we got a few comments in the comment section real quick. Hate to interrupt you guys. Ethan Wick says Heyman is the king of pushing deserving talent.
Yep.
Ethan Wick says Gargano don't want to leave NXT. Jay Montez says the main roster would ruin Cross.
yes, sir.
Anthony Cobbs has joined us. What's up, Anthony Cobbs? And Jay Montez says they jobbed Shinsuke off hard, and he was the top guy in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
That he was.
Yes.
But I feel like Alistair easily top talent, right? Top talent. And the fact that he's not on TV, period, there is no story for him. It's almost like AOP.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you have have a crazy tag team. AOP is probably the best tag team they had outside of the Street Profits, in my opinion. And FTR.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And outside of FTR, we saw what they did with FTR. Fuck them over and just let them leave. So
Right.
What about did you consider Bobby Fish and what's the other guy named?
Kyle O'Reilly?
Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly as far as tag teams and that mix like AOP, Street Profits,
Yes.
Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. Okay.
Yes. I do. I think Kyle O'Reilly's a better talent than Bobby Fish.
Me too.
I think because of his injuries lately, it's hurt Bobby Fish a lot. Them together is still crazy, but I think Kyle O'Reilly, he's finally coming into his own as a singles competitor.
Yeah.
Because him and Finn's match at NXT Takeover was amazing.
Yeah.
And I think this next one is going to be crazy too.
So do you think they're going to give him the nod? You think they're going to give him the belt? I hope they don't give him the belt. I
hope they don't. I think it adds an interesting dynamic with UE because we've always seen Adam Cole as the guy of UE. So now somebody else getting, because if you remember when what's his name was going for the title, they were kind of showing him to be a little jealous a little bit.
Is it Roderick Strong? Was it?
Yeah, when Roderick Strong was kind of going for the title, they were kind of showing him to be a little jealous of Roderick. Yeah. But it seems like he's been super supportive of Kyle O'Reilly. So it might be that time to give him the push. I don't think he's ready personally, but the company may feel different. So
yeah.
I think it will be based off Finn's health. If Finn, if he's not healthy or they feel like he needs to go out a little longer, I can see them giving Kyle the belt. But
and if Kyle gets it, we all know it's only going to be temporary because Karrion Kross is getting the belt back.
Right, and that'll be the only thing. Them not wanting Karrion to take it from Finn. They prefer him to take it off Kyle O'Reilly.
I wouldn't either. As a wrestling fan, me personally, I wouldn't want to see that.
Right.
But I would want to. I mean, my honest, like I agree with you guys. I just want to. I just want them to stretch it out a little bit longer. Like I don't want Karrion Kross to have this, feud with Damian Priest, for like a month or 2 weeks or whatever, and then all of a sudden, like now they want to put Karrion Kross back in the title picture, take the title off Finn, just put it on Kyle, just for Karrion Kross to take it off Kyle O'Reilly.
To destroy him.
I want them to kind of stretch it a little bit. Like I want them to like at least play this out for like at least 8 months. Like at least let Finn hold on to the belt for like 3 more months, take the belt off him, then put it on Kyle O'Reilly for like at least 2 months. Like let Kyle O'Reilly get some kind of championship rub, in some capacity where he at least has another feud with Finn after probably taking the belt from Finn or having some feud with somebody else, then to have Karrion Kross pop up and then, take the belt. But I just don't want them to do it so quick, like a switch.
But I mean, the way the fans are going, I'm pretty sure Karrion, I give it February, he's got the title back.
Yeah.
Maybe March.
All right.
We got to hit the comment section and we got to move on to the next topic. Ethan Wick, don't do Shayna like that. Stardom don't fool with average wrestlers.
Yeah, Shane was
Jay Montez, the belt might put him over more. Ethan Wick says, I think long-term stories. I'm sorry. I think long-term storytelling is missing.
It is, but you can't have the long-term storytelling like the Sasha and Bailey, because that was way too long.
But that also started in NXT. A lot of the winning stories started in NXT
Right.
and just has grown with their career. So, and you got to remember, the casual fan nowadays isn't like us. We're older, so we're used to the way they used to build a character.
Yeah.
Now they microwave everything. So 2 weeks, maybe a month, they got a title.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely are doing that. The whole quick give it to me now kind of situation. They're not drawing it out, but they could. Trish, unfinished business with Sasha Banks. Apparently Trish has some unfinished business with Sasha Banks. Jay, let us know what's going on.
So, Trish Stratus is a WWE Hall of Famer and retired for the most part. Do they ever? This is certainly the impression she gave fans, but the idea of making an in-ring return is also becoming hard to ignore. While speaking to Post Wrestling, Trish Stratus admitted that she has unfinished business with Sasha Banks. They only had one moment in the ring together during the Royal Rumble, but she feels that there's something there. I mean, I think Sasha, this is Trish speaking, by the way. I think Sasha Banks and I might have some unfinished business, and I say that this is with much love and respect. It's like the moment we had at the Royal Rumble so many years ago. It seemed like so many years ago now. It's just like people have held on to that moment, and I watch it back. It's undeniable that there's definitely this intangible, this energy between us. It's a rare thing. Sometimes two superstars get in there, and you're like, "Ooh, I like this," and you know. So I respected her as a worker, as a person, as a friend, and I think as a fan and personally, I think that would be an interesting thing to pursue, possibly at some point, maybe possibly down the line at some point. Banks recently spoke about facing Trish Stratus. She wants a huge payday to make that happen. That match could be a guaranteed moneymaker if WWE could have it come together. There's so many superstars who will line up to face Trish Stratus upon her return. Who gets the satisfaction is upon Vince McMahon, but Trish will probably have a big say in the situation as well.
Okay, we have 2 comments from the comment section real quick. Jay Montez says, microwave, that's real sugar honey iced tea. He was agreeing with you. Shaun, he says, get off the gas, Trish. Like, Trish, you need to chill out, Trish. You need to chill. Hey, listen, not for nothing. All right, let me just hit this comment section real quick. Then I'm gonna make my statement. You guys can join in. Anthony Cobb, I'd rather see Trish versus Charlotte. I'm not saying I'm not saying Sasha doesn't deserve that moment. I just think storyline wise, her versus Charlotte would be better. I was going to bring that up. That match with Trish and Charlotte was one of my favorite women's matches ever.
Really?
I can't even lie. I cannot lie. I was wowed. I was floored a little bit about Trish's performance and Charlotte's. Charlotte is a great wrestler. She's one of the best on a roster, one of the best we've ever had. But I was very, very, very floored by Trish's performance in that match. It was very dramatic. It was great storytelling in that match. I'm interested to know. I'm kind of interested in. I'm interested in it. I'm interested a little bit into it, just to see how it goes between her and Sasha, because I know they're gonna pull off something good, and I know Trish is gonna come back in saying to herself, "I gotta keep playing at that same level."
Trish can stay home. I like to look at her. I still like to look at her, but she can stay home.
Oh man! Wow. Okay.
That would be that match. Be funny, but right mean, it don't make
maybe
money.
Sasha when she first got to the main roster, maybe, but now she just wants to be relevant. And I feel like a lot of the older wrestlers that retired and been gone, let the new ones have it. It's that time. Let them have it. We know who you are. We love you. We respect you. You're a pioneer. Leave it at that.
Yeah,
You're a pioneer.
right. Because we saw how when that was Evolution when Lita and Trish, came after that tag match, and Lita looked horrible, out of shape,
horrible. Beth Phoenix looked horrible. Like commentate. That's what you do now. You commentate.
You're a commentator. You don't wrestle no more. No more. In-ring showmanship for you. Yeah, Jay Montez. He throws some emojis. I can't see. I don't know what emojis those are.
Yeah, he's laughing.
Oh, he's laughing. Okay. And we have Ethan Wick. He's like, oh, he's a grid. All right, because we got to move forward. We got to push these topics forward because we're running low on time. WWE mad at Snoop Dogg. Apparently, they have an issue with the Dog Father.
So this is going to come as a surprise for you guys. So for those of you who don't know, well, everybody knows Snoop Dogg is a WWE Hall of Famer on the Celebrity Wing. We all know that. So Snoop Dogg also did some commentary, for and some people's eyes think that he stole the show during the Tyson Mayweather fight. Tyson Roy Jones Jr. fight. And especially during the Nate Robinson knockout, a lot of people just took his commentary and went off. So they say he stole the show. So WWE is furious with Snoop because Snoop Dogg is set to join the commentary team of AEW starting January 6th. So WWE is very upset with this.
Okay.
But isn't JR a WWE Hall of Famer too?
Yeah.
Okay. That's it. No, that's that.
Wow.
So you're mad at Snoop, who's just a celebrity Hall of Famer.
Right, exactly.
But you're not mad at JR, who's damn near built his name in WWE.
Mm-hmm. But I think more so that JR wanted to come back, but they felt like they wanted to go with a younger commentary team. I think that's the reason why they strayed away from JR.
Yeah.
But yeah, it don't make no sense to me either.
I think he made the right decision.
All right, we got a comment from the comment section below. Jay Montez, Hulk and TNA status. I guess that's referring to.
I know exactly what he said. Yep.
Then we have Jay Montez says because of AEW, because of the AEW spot.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Ethan Wick. He says it's a kitty. So he was saying that the emoji is a cat.
No, I think he was talking about your cat walking across the screen.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. She's biting my feet right now. My wife let her in the room. She's irritating me because I'm not giving no attention. Daggone cat. Snoop is what Ethan Wick says. Jay Montez, they don't want anyone associating Dog with anything other than WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there's the thing about Vince. Is like Vince, when he invests in his, it's interesting, right? Like Vince has this like capitalist mindset, and I get it, and it kind of makes sense because, in order for you to be, it's weird. It's like, okay, if you want to be known as the big dog or want to be known as the big leagues, you got to operate like the big league. So it's like if you sign with us, it's like the mafia. You work with us, you don't work with anybody else. You shake hands with us, you don't shake hands with anybody else. And it makes sense because again, that's how WWE has maintained their elite status. And even though some performers feel like, no, that's not right. They should be able to go wrestle wherever they want and do whatever they want. WWE did not become a top brand name by doing that, by shaking their hands with other competitors. They did that in the past. Like there was a time where Hogan had the New Japan Pro Wrestling Championship belt. He went over and fought with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which a little unknown fact that I didn't know about until like maybe a year ago. which I thought was very interesting. That Hogan was New Japan Pro Wrestling champion at one point in history. I was very shocked at that. But WWE tried it, and WWE actually has some ties with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I think part of that is because New Japan Pro Wrestling is a big promotion in Japan, not in America. So they don't really have much competition with them. You know what I'm saying? They're like, all right, you promote to Japan, we promote to America. You know, there's sort of a language barrier and culture barrier there. But however, even though, you know, fans may go back and forth, we know that primarily most of your fans will be in Japan, most of our fans will be in America. But WWE operates with that elitist kind of mindset. Yeah.
I was gonna say, now that I think about it, they did back like in the early '90s. They were the first, well, really the only company at that time, up until WCW, to work with New Japan.
Yeah,
because they used to have interpromotional matches a lot.
Yeah,
especially with what was it, Alundra Blaze and
Bull Nakano.
Yep, Bull Nakano. Yep,
yeah,
that's what it was. And then they used to also with the men too. So
yeah, and Antonio Inoki, he actually was a WWE champion, and he didn't. He held the belt, but he wanted to relinquish the title because he felt like he didn't win it fair and square in a predetermined match. I don't know. He whatever, but he didn't want to hold on to the belt. All right, Eddie Cobbs says, and plus he is Sasha Banks' cousin now. I wonder if they are going to throw her to the wolves, give her honor treatment. Ethan Wick says, I don't think they will. And Jay Monte says, they got mad at Corey Taylor from Slipknot too for doing Talk is Jericho recently.
Oh,
so yeah, so they're really Vince is on his thing where people who he's giving bans to are giving these disassociations to. He's like, Vince can be on some kind of but Vince is
on a power trip,
right? But you can make up with Vince. Vince will be like, all right, you let us know or whatever. But
I feel like also with Vince, with him doing little things like this, it seems so minor and minuscule.
Yeah.
But it could also push the casual fan over to AEW.
Absolutely.
It could. It could. It could build definitely an interest. But it could. But see, the thing is like, pushing them over is because I'm telling you right, this is my thing personally. Vince is not really that concerned because he knows that WWE is the elite, it's the top brand. Because he's like, yeah, fans are gonna wander over, they're gonna look at the brand, but it's about retention. Like he's like, they're not gonna retain fans because people don't really know too much of AEW's people. You know what I'm saying? They're getting to know them. Now, the danger in that for Vince is when AEW begins to get that heat that it really needs. And then he'll be really concerned, when they really start getting that person that they need to really push the brand. Ethan Wick says he loves that loyalty-ish. He got Flair to bring him the original big gold belt in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
In the 90s. All right, so we are running low on time. And I'm just going to hit, we have some news and rumors, but I know that this portion is going to take up most of the show. So we'll probably do those news and rumors next show. We're going to hit our top 5 ratings list. Jay Montez, AEW is really angled towards big indie marks. Big indie marks, interesting. But this is an interesting time for us in wrestling. And this right now, or I should say today, Shaun, is an interesting time for you. You know why? my dear friend Shaun, we want to know, do you know wrestling? We had Big Baby up here, and Big Baby seems to be a smoking gun. This guy seems to be an almanac. He knows what he knows about wrestling, but we want to know.
Oh man.
Do you?
Okay.
No. Do you know wrestling?
I like to think I do.
You like to think you do? Well, we like to think you do too. And we want to ask our man Jay McMahon. Jay McMahon has 5 questions for you that he's going to toss at you because he wants to know, do you, Shaun, know wrestling? And if you do know wrestling, if you can answer 4 or 5 of these questions, you will win a prize of $10. We will cash app it to you. Big Baby has won the game. He has gotten $10. Lunch will be lunch, breakfast, or a pack of cigarettes or a bottle of liquor will be on us. Whatever your vice is, or whatever
The pressure.
Can you answer these 5 questions? Jay McMahon, bring the pain.
Damn. So my apologies. I was supposed to come up with questions. I didn't get a chance to. Apologize. But Shaun, we will definitely bring you back on.
Jay.
I had this conversation with you before we did it. I mean, you ain't asked me if I had the questions. I didn't know that, because I was busy over.
So Shaun, next time we will ask if you know wrestling. It's gonna be another time.
Right, we can bring them on next Sunday. We just do that segment.
Okay, all right. Next Sunday, Shaun.
I'm about to say, yeah, I'm free. I'm definitely free next Sunday. So
okay, all right. Next Sunday, we'll know if you know wrestling or not. All right. Moving forward. Let's get to our top 5 ratings list. We took the time and the opportunity to rate. We compiled a list of our top 5 heels in WWE. I myself, Jay McMahon, and Shaun have chosen our top 5 heels in WWE. And my choice for top 5 heel, well, I'm going to go through a list of all the choices that we all made. And I'm going to post them up here so you guys see. And then we're going to play the game of rating them based on 3 things. All right. And I'm going to name those 3 things when I get to the list. One of my choices was Stone Cold Steve Austin. I enjoyed him as a heel. Sean Keys picked Chris Jericho. Me and Jay picked Triple H. The Game. Me and Shaun picked Hollywood Hogan. Jay McMahon picked Jake the Snake. That's a pitch. Yes, Jake the Snake is actually talking to his snake. Jay McMahon chose Owen Hart. Jay and Shaun chose Randall Keith Orton. Me and Shaun chose the Nature Boy Ric Flair, old Slick Rick himself. I myself chose The Rock. Jay and Shaun chose Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And those are our choices. I am going to show you guys the ratings list. Oops.
Now, reason The Rock and Stone Cold didn't make my list was because they were bigger baby face than heels.
yeah, The Rock was a hard one for me, but The Rock was a great heel. So
right, but like the fans turned them face. That's what my list. Now they were great heels, but they were bigger face heels, in my opinion. That's why
I think they were superstars, just like Hogan, where they could do either or and be great at it. They could be heels and be great. They could be face and be great. So them 3 being on the list, I'm not mad at all, to be honest.
Right. And see, I was teetering with Bob Backlund. And the reason that Bob Backlund was going to be here, as when I was young, Bob Backlund and Owen Hart was the first set of heels made me cry. I was a big Bret Hart fan, and he was and Owen doing the towel, and I'm like, why would you do it? I was tired of that. So yeah, that was.
I think I had the Iron Sheik on my list too, which was different. It was different for me, not really different for me, but the Iron Sheik was hated. Him and Sergeant Slaughter were hated as heels, like couldn't go anywhere in public. Hated.
We have a comment in the comment section. Some comments in the comment section. Jay Mon says Owen, when he thought he won that Slammy, is probably my favorite bit ever. Jay Montez says corporate rock was a dope heel. Anthony Cobb says this is his list: Ric Flair, Triple H, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, and HBK. All right, guys. So you guys can drop down in the comment section below and drop down your top 5 heels of all time in WWE. Pardon me. All right, so this is how the rating list is going to go from 1 to 5 points. You can rate it. You have to give them at least 1 point for effort. You cannot rate them at 0. You got to give them at least a 1 for effort. Rating list, you can rate 1.5, 1.2, 1.3, 1.9, so on. But from 1 to 5 in the point system. So we're going to grade them on 3 things. Their promos, of course. What makes a great heel is their promos, right? Another thing that makes a great heel is their feuds. We need feuds. This is the reason why we have so many great feuds, is because we have so many great heels. And of course, the number one thing that makes a heel stand out is how they transitioned into a heel. Heel transformation, how they transitioned. What was their how was their transitional moment when they became heel? We have a comment in the comment section real quick from Ethan Wick. Any variation of CM Punk, Ministry of Darkness, Undertaker, Seth Rollins, Vince McMahon, Owen Hart. I am not a nugget.
You know what's funny? I was just like, right before you read that, I was just thinking about Ministry of Darkness, Undertaker. I literally, it just hit me, and I wasn't thinking about it during our list, but that was Ministry of Dark. I mean, Undertaker was a dope heel up until the whole Kane feud, for real.
Yeah,
it was kind of when he kind of turned face. So,
that was definitely a good angle when they kind of merged them all together. But that was pretty interesting. How they definitely did that. That was pretty interesting how they merged the corporate ministry all together, and they had Stone Cold Steve Austin hanging on a cross as if he died for our sins. So that was hilarious. When they did it. I didn't do it, Shaun. They did it. I was like, what's going on? They had a board. I'm like, come on, man. They would just do it. It was hilarious though. But hey,
Undertaker did.
So
have like
I'm going to go to
goatees at that time too.
Yeah, he did. He did. He was very dark looking. Here we go. Jay Montez says Ministry of Darkness segment with the cross and the sacrifices were next level. See, it was.
Definitely,
I was like,
man being sacrificed.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm only going to choose 2 of mine. Jay's going to choose 2 of his. Shaun is going to choose 2 of his choices, but more than likely because we had some similar choices on superstars. I'm gonna choose my own. Jay's gonna choose one of his own. Shaun is gonna choose one of his own, and then the extra one of our second choice will be one that we both or all 3 of us have chosen to make it fair. So Stone Cold Steve Austin, rating Stone Cold Steve Austin as a heel. The first point system would be based on promos, feuds, and heel transformation. So I'm going to go with my rating. I'm going to rate first. You guys are going to tell me what your rating is based on Stone Cold. Stone Cold promos. I give Stone Cold promos a 5. They were hilarious. I enjoyed them. They were the funniest things. Stone Cold Steve Austin's feuds. At the time when he was a heel, he was running. I think he was the head of what was it called? The Invasion. He had a small feud with the feud with the Rock didn't really last that long because Rock went to Hollywood. But then him and Triple H formed the 2-man power trip, which I thought was dope. One of my favorite story arcs. And he feuded with Benoit and Jericho, Kane and Undertaker. I thought it was pretty dope. I give his feuds a 5. He had some great feuds, and his heel transformation. I have to give his heel transformation a 5. Even though at that WrestleMania I wanted The Rock to win, Stone Cold's transformation was very much justified. I hated it, but I loved it at the same time. And that's one of the things that makes a great heel. I give Stone Cold a 5, 5, 5. I think he's 5 for 5. You guys, what do you guys think?
I agree.
I agree, but the heel transformation, I would give it a 3. And the reason being, because Stone Cold came in as a heel, who, as we all know, then the fan turned him good, as we all know. But then turning on The Rock, and joining, that's like, I mean, it was unexpected, but it wasn't like one of the best transformations. I mean, we'll go into one who I think has better heel transformations for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. I also forgot to mention that Stone Cold. Yeah, right. Exactly. And you just mentioned what I forgot to mention, that Stone Cold was a heel for like most of his career, and he was so good of a heel that he made the fans cheer for him at one classic WrestleMania match where he was put in the sharpshooter by Bret the Hitman Hart, and the fans turned on Bret because Austin was that good of a heel.
But do we forget about the feuds when he was the ringmaster feuding with Savio Vega in a strap match? Do we forget about those?
Okay, Jay. I'll tolerate a lot of things on this show, but I will not tolerate you mentioning Savio Vega on this show, all right? I'm joking. Anthony Cobbs, Anthony Cobbs says 555. Jay Montez says 5.5 and 3.5 because he was always kind of heel to begin with. Yeah,
I agree, Jay.
So, Jay. I'm sorry, Jay. So, Jay, who's going to be your choice for who you want to rate?
All right, so I think me and you pick Triple H. I guess we'll do that in the next round. Let's do the King of Hearts.
Oh, okay. All right. This one is going to be a challenge for me. I'm going to tell you right now. Yeah. This is going to be a challenge for me. I'm doing Owen Hart, because a lot of Owen's big moments really came, I believe, in the Attitude Era, where he really shined a lot more. Even though they gave him a lot of shine in the New Generation Era, I think he really kind of broke out into his own, mainly like in the Attitude Era. So Jay, go ahead. You lead the way with your rating.
Right. So with promos, I think Owen, he had decent promos. I don't think he focused much on his promos. It didn't really stand out to me. So his promos, I'm gonna give him 25. His feuds, this the feud that he had with Bret and Stone Cold skyrocketed, anything by far. And so I will give that a 4.5 as far as feud. Heel transformation is a 5. Anytime that you turn heel based off jealousy and basically the things he did with Bret, like he was jealous of Bret the whole time. He always didn't want to be considered his little brother. And then even him going to the whole extreme of getting the Anvil and him and Anvil the New Heart Foundation just to stick it to Bret, which is classic stuff. So heel transformation 5.
Okay. All right. Sean Keys, how do you rate Owen Hart based on promos, feuds, and heel transformation?
Man, I want to agree with Jay, but I will say promos. He was good on the mic, but I'd have to give Owen like a 4 for promos, a strong 4, 4.5. It wasn't a solid 5 for me.
Okay.
Feuds, I definitely give him a 5 because the feud with him and Brett, once he joined the Nation, a lot of his feuds he had there. And then Hill's transformation, like you said, the jealousy factor. Using that to kind of that, and with Brett putting him over in a sense, with a lot of their matches and the family dynamic of it. So I would say 4.55.
Okay, excellent. 455. Real quick from the comment section below. Ethan Wick says the Austin 316 promo. Ethan Wick says I also enjoyed his Canadian. I also enjoy his Canadian. He's Canadian. I'm better than you, snobby attitude. I read that wrong. Okay, I also enjoyed his Canadian. I'm better than you, snobby attitude. Sorry, Ethan. Anthony Cobbs rates Owen Hart 3.5, and 4. Jay Montez, he says promos 5 after heel turn. Come on, he was a natural, especially when he had that slamming. He would not stop putting it over on commentary feuds. Feuds, he gives a 5 versus Bret Hart WrestleMania. He said it was fire. Heel turn 5. He played that jealousy little brother so well. Okay,
Yeah,
so
he did.
It's hard for me to rate it because I only seen things from like you guys like actually watched the feud. I only seen the feud based on small snippets and clips and highlight reels of what actually happened. I never really watched too much of Owen Hart. I've seen the most I've seen of Owen Hart was in the late '90s. I'm sorry, the late '90s. So I would have to rate Owen as far as mic skills and ability. From what I've seen, I would give him about a 4. As far as his feud with Brett, that I did see. I thought it was great. It made so much sense to have him go back and forth. I give that a 5. His heel turn made sense. I wasn't a big fan of Owen Hart as a heel. I thought he was a good heel, but then he was working with what's Jeff Jarrett. I hate this. Oh God, Jeff Jarrett, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm going to give Owen about a 3.5 as a heel. 3.5. Shaun, it's your turn.
This one was
sorry,
tough for me
Ethan Wick. Sorry, he says for Owen, he gives him a 4, a 5, and a 4. Okay, so who are you going to choose, Ethan, from your list?
I've been sitting here debating the whole time I was listening because I'm stuck. I'm honestly stuck between Hogan, Flair, and Jericho. I feel like Hogan is. I mean, we all know Hogan's numbers. But man, Flair really was always heel, so that's not really. I'll say Hogan just because he actually turned. Jericho kind of was always heel, and so was Flair. So I'm gonna go Hogan.
You go Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, Hollywood Hogan. It is. All right,
So,
Hollywood Hogan. So this is mine.
Clearly.
So you and I chose Hollywood. So go ahead, Shaun.
So I would say promos. With promos, clear 5. Hogan was gold on the mic.
Yes.
He may have had some moments where we got tired of hearing brother so goddamn much. But he was golden on the mic. His promos were always next level, especially once he turned into Hollywood Hogan. I feel like everything with him went up. It leveled up so much more. His feuds, he had some of the. I think because the feud wise, he had good feuds with people. Him and Goldberg, great. I think also with him having a lot of creative control with WCW, it hindered a little bit because a lot of times he didn't want to lose. So he would have, the NWO jump in. And so feud-wise, it still built a lot of great feuds, though. I will say that. Regardless of them jumping in, it still built some amazing feuds. So promos 5, feuds, I'd say a 4.5. Because we're going off of, heel Hogan, not just Hogan in general.
Yeah.
And hold on, what was the other kind? It was promos, feuds, and
heel transformation.
Now that's a 10. I know we're going 1, 2 through 5. I personally say that was a 10 because if all of us can remember at that time, with the invasion with Hall and Nash, nobody saw Hogan being the leader. I know young me at that time, I did. I was shocked watching the pay-per-view, seeing Hogan come out with, come out with the blue, with the yellow and red, and then turn. Yeah. And just the maturation of the Hollywood Hogan character was for me was great. From the beginning to the end of that character was amazing. Yeah. So I give it a 10 for heel turn. Yeah. Again, I know we're going 1 through 5, but for me, that one was a 10. So I would say 5 promos. Oh, not promos. Feuds it's a strong 4.5 for me. Yeah. And then 5 with heel turn.
Excellent. So we're going to hit the comment section real quick. Ethan Wick. I believe this is what Ethan Wick's grade is for Hogan. If it's not, Ethan, let me know. He gives Hogan a 3.1, a 3, and a 5.5. No, I'm sorry. He gives him a 3.1, a 3. I'm sorry. He gives him a 3.1, a 3.5, and a 5. Okay, all right. I was reading that wrong. Anthony Cobbs gives Hogan a 4, and a 5. Jay Montez says 5 on the mic, 5 his feuds with Sting, and 8 oh my effing god. I'm sorry, 5 when I saw him turn heel as a kid, I literally screamed with the rage because he was my hero. He was all of our heroes, Jay. He was all of our heroes.
He was.
Ethan Wick, do you not wait?
You're not a real heel if you don't get people throwing trash at you.
Right. There you go. Thank you, Shaun. Jay Montez feud, right.
I mean, that's true. That's very true. If you ain't got people throwing trash at you as a heel.
You ain't doing something right.
Filling the ring with trash, like soda cans, beer bottles, chips, hot dog wrappers, all of it. Cotton candy.
Was lit, man. It was lit. J Mag Mizzle, let us know how do you rate Hogan based on heel transformation, promos, and feuds?
We know something, brother. Hogan's promos, obviously, he's been doing promos, so he better be damn good at it. So definitely 5. His as a heel, and as we said, the NWO stuff basically set it bars behind Macho Man, the Thing, Big Show, but back then, Paul White, so the feud definitely a 5. And the heel turn, like I said, like I think Ethan Wick said, if you don't have fans throwing trash at you in the middle of the ring, and it's a surprise factor, but you're not a heel. So definitely a 5 for a heel turn for me. Heel transformation for me.
Yeah, I rate Hogan as far as heel turn. Heel turn, I definitely have to agree with Shaun. It was like off the charts. Like Hogan was like he was the real life version of Captain America. That's exactly what he was. Like he was he was the hero. He was like a hero. Like he's a childhood hero. And it was crazy because he was like a hero to adults too. Like he wasn't just a hero for like kids. He was like a hero to adults. And I remember my brother, and at the time I was watching wrestling like loosely, and I mean loosely, like I would like very rarely catch wrestling, like maybe like once a month. And I remember my brother came home because my older brother is what. Shout outs to my older brother CJ Rams on Facebook. He's the one that got me into wrestling because we used to watch wrestling as a kid. I used to watch wrestling as a kid because of him. And I remember watching, Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania, and I was rooting for Hogan. He was rooting for Warrior, and Hogan lost. And I was like, man. And anyway, to get to the point, my brother one time he came home from school and he was like, "Yo, Hogan turned heel." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Hogan's a bad guy." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Hogan is Hogan. Hogan doesn't turn bad." He was like, "Yo, they got this group called the NWO. He joined Nash. He said he got this group. He formed with Nash and Razor Ramon and da-da-da." Like, what are you talking about? I was like, because I seen him in WCW and I seen Hall and Nash in WCW. So I'm like, what is this? I'm like, WWF. So anyway, long story short, the watch that turn was like I was mind blown, and then just to watch his evolution, it was like off the charts. His promos, I definitely give Hogan. I have to give Hogan a 10. It was hilarious watching him cut the promos, saying the stuff he was saying about wrestlers, beating them up, and then spray paint NWO on their back. It just gets no better than that. And not only to mention that, but then Hogan was just so cool as a heel that when he fought The Rock, who was my favorite wrestler at WrestleMania, like as a heel, he turned a good. He could not be accepted as a heel. He was just that over that the fans literally started cheering for Hogan. It was amazing. It was one of the most greatest WrestleMania matches ever. And then heel turns, promos, and what was the other one?
Feuds,
right. So his feuds, of course, in WCW, I thought they were great. His feud with Goldberg, his feud with Macho Man, his feud with the Wolfpack. Dag, man. Jeez. His feud with The Rock. Oh, man. I mean, it just gets no better. Got to give him a 5. We have a comment in the comment section below. Ethan Wake, he had us saying prayers and taking vitamins. Oh, yeah, brother.
man.
Here we go. Ethan Wake says, yeah, y'all right. He changes his rating. 5.
Yeah, when you really break it down and think about it, it's like Hogan might have been the best heel.
Yeah. That's why I say I personally say that Hogan is probably the greatest. Like he's the GOAT. Like he just doesn't like this. He's in a class by himself. Like when I look at it, I was like, it's just what he has done, what he was able to do. He's in a class.
They tried to put Cena in the class.
Yeah.
And I think if Cena had turned heel.
Yeah.
And I think even if Cena comes back and does it now, it's not the same. It might be because Hogan was pretty old when it happened with him. So he still possibly could. He got to change the hair.
Yeah, he can't come out looking like what's
like a G.I. Joe character.
Right.
That's what he can't. The hair, JBL. That's what he looks like.
Nah, JBL, the guy and the guy from Boston from Ted. I can't think of his name right now.
Oh, I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name either, though. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I always forget his name.
We have some comments in the comment section below. Samuel Lynn says, "Yep, true. Thank you, Samuel Lynn, for joining us." Samuel Lynn also says, "I give him a 10+ on everything." Jaymon says, "Even people who don't like or even know wrestling know who Hogan is." Absolutely. Ethan Wick, the way he used to play the guitar with the belt.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Samuel
what Kyle O'Reilly got it from.
I still do.
That's what Kyle O'Reilly got it from.
Yeah. Samuel Lynn says, "I didn't like JBL," and Samuel Lynn also says, "Thank you for the show." Thank you for joining us, Samuel Lynn. Thank you for joining us. All right, so we're going to do these last two, and and we're gonna wrap it up. So let's do Flair. Let's do the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. All right.
My daughter is screaming "woo." She heard me.
Woo! The Nature Boy.
Right. She's in her room screaming "woo." I had her throwing up the 4 horsemen on her birthday because she turned 4. So.
Oh, there you go. That's a good dad right there. Teach him early. Heritage is everything.
You know it.
Did it? Wait, question. Did we do The Rock?
No.
Nah.
Okay, all right. Just asking because I don't know if we did. All right, we'll do the Nature Boy. This was mine and Shaun's pick. Ric Flair. Oh, slick Rick.
So with Flair's another one to me. Even though he's always been heel, he's always been a great heel. I gotta say 10s across the board.
Okay.
Again, I'm going 10s.
Right. 10. Right.
He has some of the most legendary promos.
Yes.
Legendary promos. His
Yes.
feud with Sting, legendary.
Yeah.
All of his feuds have been amazing. Even in his older years were great.
Yeah.
It really wasn't a heel turn with him because he came in. If you know the story of Flair, he never was from jump. He never was a face.
Yeah,
he was
right.
a heel face. If you know, the fans loved him, but they loved to hate him.
Right.
So I would say heel turn away in just promos and feuds, 10s, pure 10s.
Pure 10s. Awesome. We have some comments in the comment section below. Samuel Lynn, he speaks of Hollywood Hogan when he spray painted NWO on the belt. Jay Montez, woo! Anthony Cobbs, 555 for the Nature Boy. Samuel Lynn, woo! Gives a woo for Ric Flair. Ethan Wick, the dirtiest player in the game, the king of low blows. Jay Montez, 10, 10, 10. And by good, 10, baby. Woo! I'm sorry, by God. I'm sorry, by God. Sorry. Samuel Lynn, I didn't really like Flair promos. I didn't really like Flair. Promos 10, but on him, a 5 to me. Samuel Lynn, yes would be for that. All right. Yes. I would have to definitely say for Flair, I give him 10s all down. It speaks for itself. His promos, I still watch his promos to his day. Space Mountain, hilarious. One time I said to my wife, I said, hey, I'm gonna take you on a trip to Space Mountain. And she didn't know what it was. I had to fill her in on what Space Mountain was. Wow. Yeah. Samuel Lynn, he was good. He was a good wrestler though. He was a good wrestler though. Can I say this though? Flair was not the best wrestler. Flair was just good at pulling off the drama inside of a ring. He was great at storytelling in his
believability in the ring,
right,
was always there. But wrestler, even Flair will tell you, he wasn't the best wrestler.
Yeah, he was not the best.
He never was the best wrestler. Even young Flair, right. He was not the best wrestler.
He was not, and I think that's what made him and Hogan so great, was that Hogan wasn't the best wrestler, but it was just the storytelling in the ring that made the match good, for what it was. Jay, give us your rating on Ric Flair. Oh, slick Rick.
Slick it. Well, promos, hands down 5. Let's see, feuds. Yeah, we all know the feud, him and Sting, him and Ricky Steamboat, legendary, hands down. So the feud definitely is a 5. And his heel transformation, it's 5 for me.
He's always been here.
Yeah, he's always been a heel, right? So.
Right.
But one we were missing Bailey. Ding dong, hello. He was the most annoying heel.
Who's that?
Bailey, ding dong, hello.
Oh God. Oh, geez, oh God, he was horrible. Let's get the comment section real quick, and then we're going to do one last wrestler. I'm gonna choose this one. I think is really interesting. I want to do this one because I think you guys will have a fun time doing this one. Jay Montez, I still mark out when I see him style and profile.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, me too. Ethan Wick, Flair oversold everything. Samuel Lynn, yeah, you're right. Just an okay wrestler. Jay Montez, he says Hogan's run in Japan, he showed some real mat and chain wrestling prowess. Yes, he did. He did. Hogan can wrestle, actually. He really can. I've seen it. It was very interesting. I was like, yes, Hogan can really wrestle. Ethan Wick, 5, 5, and 4. Interesting. Okay. Ethan Wick, hello. Ding dong.
Bailey, the golden role models.
Yeah. Oh man. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to do this. We're going to do this last one because we got to wrap this up. So this one I think is very interesting. I think it needs to be mentioned. I wanted to put The Rock up, but I'm like, we already have our feelings about The Rock. I mean, I think The Rock is 10 across. But yeah. Anyway, that's just my opinion. But we're going to do this one because I think this one needs to be done, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. Randy Orton.
What happened to my son Game? But we can do Randy.
Oh, Triple H.
We can do Game. We can do Randy. No, it's fine.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know what? Let's do Triple H.
I think that, but what's crazy? They're both so similar. If you really think about,
so they're both 5 across the board.
I was gonna say the mic skills for both of them, the feuds, the heel turn for both. Even though, originally Triple H came in heel, turned face with DX. Technically, DX was a face heel, if you really think about it.
Right.
So, I mean, to me, they're both similar. They're both 10s.
Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, either way.
Well, you're right. Okay. So, all right. So this is my take, right? This is my thing. Right? I can't give Randy a 10 for his. I can give Randy a 5, but I wouldn't give Randy a 10 for his heel turns like I would give Triple H. And I say this because when the way Triple H has always turned, you've never seen it coming. Like when Triple H turned heel on The Rock at WrestleMania. I'm sorry, after WrestleMania when he fought against Stone Cold at WrestleMania after WrestleMania 17, where Austin turned heel and they had the 2-man power trip, and he thought Triple H was going to come out and he was going to save The Rock. He came out with the sledgehammer, and then he just knocks The Rock out, and then you're like this mother, you know what I'm saying? Then when Triple H was the head of DX at the time, they had the corporation, and Triple H turned on DX. You never seen it coming. Like you did not see it coming. You're like, what the hell? Like, it's just when Triple H has those turns. When Shawn Michaels came back and Triple H and when Shawn Michaels came back, I think like the very first time, and they were in a ring and they were doing the whole DX tour. And this is when Triple H was like very into his game character. This was like the early 2000s, like maybe 2001, 2002. And then they came to the whole DX tour and everybody's going crazy, like, yeah. And then Triple H turned around to pedigree Shaun. You've never seen it coming. It's just his turns are just amazing. I gotta give him a 10. I'm sorry. With Randy, I give Randy's turns a 5, but I feel like Triple H always plays at a different level.
Yeah, he does. I agree with that.
Yeah, Triple H is more spontaneous when it happens because, like you said, you don't see it coming. Compared to Randy, yeah, we kind of know when he's going to turn heel, but he's still an amazing heel, though.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely credit him that. Real quick, comment section below. Anthony Cobb says 555 for Randall Keith Orton. Ethan Wick says all 5s. Jay Montez says not a Randy fan. I liked him when he was the legend killer in his early days in Evolution. Jay Montez, Randy Hill turns every other day. He does. Ethan Wick 554. If I think about it, just as a heel though, is one of the best. So I give him a 10. Samuel Lynn. I can't stand Randy. After the match, he looked at the camera. I'm sorry, I can't stand Randy. He after the match looked at the camera guy and asked if he was done. Then ran to the back and he was supposedly hurt. He supposedly hurt his knee, and then fans were booing him. Then he turned around, looked like oops. Samuel Lynn, he gives him a 5. Samuel Lynn says 5 for Randy. 5 for Randy. So you guys give Randy a 5 all down the board?
Yeah.
Okay, all down the board for Randy. All right. So Jay, do you want to do Triple H or you want to?
I mean, Triple H is gonna pretty much. Well, he's gonna get 10 for me. So I think we all.
Yeah, I'm giving 10s.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, like you guys already stated it. The heel turns, the feuds that he had, his promos were his promos in general from DX on. When he was still Hunter Hearst Helmsley, the Blue Blood, he wasn't that good on the mic.
Right.
His mic skills weren't that good. But as he was coming along, and then his feud with Mankind, he was getting better on the mic at that time.
Right.
Coming into the DX thing, so.
Yep. Completely agree.
Okay, let's do this last one. Okay, this one I think would be interesting. Another interesting one. We'll do this last one, and then we gotta wrap it up.
The GOAT.
Quick comment. Jay Montez for Triple H. 10 on promos. He would get me hyped back in the day. Suck it. 10 for feuds for Cactus Jacks. 10 when he turned on DX. I was pissed. Modern day legend. Samuel Lynn says yes. Chris Jericho.
The GOAT. Le Champion.
Le Champion.
All right, so Jericho mic skills. Sometimes his mic skills were hit or miss.
Yeah.
They definitely were hit or miss sometimes. But he still put some of the best promos in.
Yeah.
WCW days, WWE days, his AEW promos, his New Japan promos, all heel for the most part. Promo-wise, he's always been great. I will say that. Sometimes Mike's, like I said, Mike skills sometimes were a little hit or miss, but for the most part, I say majority of the time he was a 5. He had some amazing feuds. Amazing. I mean, I don't think it's too many people Jericho, heel or face, hasn't wrestled, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like even up into his older years, young Jericho, going into the older, like I said, I don't really think he had a heel turn either.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he kind of did in WCW, but then it was more or less as he was losing in the beginning when he first was in with the cruiserweight, when he was kind of starting as a cruiserweight. It was more with him losing and turning heel, and then from that point on he was always heel. Even when he came into WWE, he was heel, and pretty much his entire WWE career, he was heel.
Yeah.
So I don't think there was a heel turn there for me. So I would go 5-5.
Okay.
I mean, he's the GOAT. So I mean, in my opinion, Jericho is top 5.
Top 5. All right. Excellent.
Top 5 DOA.
All right. Comment section below real quick. Samuel Lynn, Triple H. Awesome all day. He kept getting better and better as he got older. Samuel Lynn, 10-10-10 for Jericho. Samuel Lynn, I'm sorry, 10-10-10 for Triple H. Samuel Lynn, 10-10-10 for Jericho. Ethan Wick, Y2J, 3, 5, and 3. Interesting. Samuel Lynn, when he did his checklist, it was funny. Yeah, it was. Jay Montez promos 10. You're on the list. Yes, 10 for his feud with Tanahashi, amongst tons of others. I love the Pain Maker though. 10, interchangeable with face heel turning.
I
So
agree, Jay.
I give Jericho for promos. I give Jericho I have to give him a 4.5. I would give him a 10 because it's always a hit and miss, but that listing was like, yes, like it was hilarious.
Golden.
It showed how much of a goat he is. As far as promos, feuds, I give a 5. You know, when he had that feud with Kevin Owens, the feud with Shawn Michaels, man, the feud with China. Oh man, hilarious. The feud with Chris Benoit, the feud with Kurt Angle, you know, the mini feud, the feud with John Cena, which I felt like he should have won the heavyweight championship and should have not been forced into, you know, that temporary retirement. But I would have to give his transformations about a 2 because it was just like when he turned heel, it was just like, oh, he turned heel, you know. So it was like, eh. Jay, how would you rate Chris Jericho?
His promos, I gave a 5. His feuds, as we mentioned, was great feuds. He had, you know, a bunch of, you know, great feuds with Shaun. Punk is where we kind of forget.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah,
great one. So, and then as far as 5 as far as feuds and heel transformation. I feel like one of the comments, you know, like Randy, we kind of see it coming. So it wasn't a surprise or a wow factor when Jericho turns heel because we feel he's heel for anyway. So heel transformation, I probably would say 3.
it's interesting. All right, guys, time is up. We gotta go. We gotta wrap up the show. We are actually 30 minutes over. This is quite an interesting show and enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with you guys. Thank you, Sean Keys, for joining us.
Finally,
We'll have you back on next Sunday because we have to make like a ball and bounce. We thank you guys for joining us for another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. I'm here with my co-host Jay McMahon, and I'm your host Saheem the Dream. Please, if you are on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, drop some comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about these topics. Let us know what you think about our rating list. If you are on Facebook and you're catching us on Facebook Live, please hit the like, please hit the share so all of your wrestling friends and buddies can come on and they can share we can have some talks and they can share their thoughts and their ideas with us. We enjoy you guys coming on. We appreciate your opinions. We appreciate your views, your feedback, and your comments. I am your host, Saheem the Dream.
Your boy, Jay McMahon.
Keys Mizzle.
And we will see you guys next time on Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. Later. Peace.